Morning everyone. Today we will discuss the cadaveric specimen of the front of the forearm. The structures present in the front of the forearm, we will identify them one by one. This is the venous system on the superficial fascia. You can see this is the basilic vein and this is the cephalic vein over here, and these two are connected by the median cubital vein in the cubital fossa. And let's reflect these structures, these superficial structures. And you can see here different muscles over here in the cubital fossa that already has been discussed. This is the bicipital aponeurosis. We will reflect it also. And you can see here, this is the flexor muscles of the front of the forearm, and this group of muscle is from the proximolateral compartment, also called as the mobile vad of the Henry. These muscles consist of three muscles: brachioradialis muscle, and the extensor carpi radialis longus, which is present below it, and the extensor carpi radialis brevis. This we will not discuss today. Today the focus of our discussion is the front of the forearm, which comprises of the flexor muscles and some pronator muscles and the neurovascular bundle over here. Let's see. This is the flexor muscles of the front of the forearm, and this is grouped in two groups. One is the superficial group of muscle consisting of five muscles. This is the pronator teres muscle. This pronator teres muscle is this one is the pronator teres muscle, rising from having a common flexor origin from the medial epicondyle of the humerus, and it is attaching over the radius bone in the mid shaft of the radius bone at the point of maximum convexity. This is pronator teres. You can identify it by pulling it laterally, and you can see the median nerve is piercing this muscle. This muscle is pierced by this median nerve at this point of time. You can see here. The next muscle that we have is the flexor carpi radialis longus. This is the tendon of flexor carpi radialis longus, and you can see this is the flexor carpi radialis longus, having the common flexor origin and running downwards towards the radial side. Identify it. The third muscle that here we have is the palmaris longus. This is the palmaris longus muscle, and this is the tendon of palmaris longus. You can see this is palmaris longus. This is a median structure present in the midline of the forearm, having really long tendon. In some individuals, their tendon may be absent also. This muscle may be absent. The large muscle, again, the next muscle that we have, this is the flexor digitorum superficialis. This is a large muscle, thick muscle, large muscle, and these are the tendons of flexor digitorum superficialis. The tendon of this muscle is divided into four for each of the digits, each of the four lateral digits. These are the four tendons of it. And in the last, the final muscle in the superficial group we have is the flexor carpi ulnaris. This is flexor carpi ulnaris. These are the muscles from the front of the forearm superficial group. To look for the muscles at the deeper state, we have to pull the muscles, cut the muscles of the superficial and pull it laterally. When we pull the muscles laterally, we find these structures: the neurovascular structure over here, the brachial artery dividing into ulnar artery, and the radial artery over here. You can trace the radial artery downward. You can trace it downwards and see here at the wrist joint, here is the radial artery in which you take the pulse of the patients. This is the ulnar artery over here, and running it downwards, the branch, anterior interosseous branch of the ulnar artery. This is anterior interosseous branch of the ulnar artery. Okay. The two muscles at the deeper level, you can see here now, these two muscles. This muscle is the flexor pollicis longus, and this muscle, this larger muscle, is the flexor digitorum profundus. You can see this also divides in four different tendons for each of the digits. The last muscle and the deepest muscle that you can see by pulling these two muscles laterally, and very small muscle called as pronator quadratus. It is present at the deeper level. This is pronator quadratus. This muscle is the pronator quadratus over here. Another structure that we need to trace, this is the median nerve over here, and you can trace it downward. It penetrates the pronator teres muscle, then come back, and then it is plastered on the posterior aspect of the flexor digitorum superficialis muscle. You can trace it downward. It is present in the midline of the forearm. And on the ulnar aspect, you can find another nerve over here, and that is the ulnar nerve. This one is the ulnar nerve. This is the ulnar nerve. This comes to the front of the forearm after penetrating through the two heads of the flexor carpi ulnaris muscle. These are different structures which are present in the front of the forearm. Thank you.